Welcome back to another episode of SAGED Wrestling. Got a real special guest, at least for me and mine. This is huge for us. One of our favorite in my family for the last 7 8 years to watch. Dylan D'Amelio, Ohio State All American. How you doing, big man?
Good, thank you. I appreciate the intro. It's cool. Just family's been watching for a long time. I mean, I appreciate hearing that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, whenever you were you first came on the scene in Ohio. I mean, we're Ohio people, so we seen you in at Genoa winning those
Mhm.
sports state championships, and it was so fun to watch, man. I mean, gosh, what was it? You were, I think your final record was like 200 and some and seven. I mean, just you were incredible to watch, incredible.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And I mean, just to get it started, what actually got you introduced into wrestling? What got Dylan on the map?
Yeah, so it's definitely just something that's as far as I can remember. Wrestling was just part of my life. My dad started me wrestling when I was 4 years old, so I mean I don't have a lot of memories before then. So as far as I can remember, something I was doing, and I have an older brother, a year and a half older than I am, and we did everything together. So it was like if he would start doing this, it's like, okay, Dylan, you might be a little young, but you're just gonna do it with him. Why would we? Why would we not? Because we were, best friends back then, still best friends now.
Uh,
Um, and my dad wrestled back in the day, so it's kind of just been we've been a wrestling family, and then found some success early, and kind
mhm.
of rode with it.
Yeah, and it's definitely been. And to be honest with you, the reason why, like, not only like your success through high school did we love watching, and then whenever we found out as Ohio State fans that you were going to be a Buckeye, like it
Mhm.
was. I mean, we went through the roof with that. But what made it what made you so appealing to us was you still do it to this day. I think you're the best in the country at it, to be honest with you. And I think you are honestly, like my son, he's young, he's 2 years old, but my tapes of what I'm gonna show him are you. And it's because you could be down with 30 seconds to go, 9-4 or whatever to Bo Bartlett. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And you dead sprint, like you guys go out of bounds and you dead sprint back to the center every time. And you
Mhm.
until them 6 minutes are up, 7 minutes are up, like you are grinding and you put everything into it and it don't matter. Like I see a lot of wrestlers not. And where does that come from? Where do you get that? Like, is that just something that like you eh, just were born with? Because not, I mean, I love wrestling. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. And you
Mhm.
don't see people do what you do, bro.
Yeah, I'd say some of it, might just be biological. I've always been a good cardio guy, but I think that's more kind of the mental side of things. I like going for long runs and hitting a long run, and always prided myself on being the guy that doesn't get tired. I think that's just a mental thing and a mindset thing, and I really take it personal to be that guy. And it's been part of me since I would say middle school. I really started saying, I'm the guy that doesn't get tired. Um, Comes back to like some of the training I've like had. Just I grew up a brunette guy, and we had some heater practices for some young guys. Um, some really tough practices. And I think I just struggled at first. When I first started going, it was struggle. I didn't really want to go. I was third or fourth grade, and it's like, dad's making me go. But, I'm gonna try hard. And then just so it gets easier and easier as you develop. Um, but I think Davis instilled a lot in me just from a young age. They're both Burnett brothers, Scotty and Eric, are incredible coaches and just people, human beings. They care about you. They teach you about the right way to live, which is important too.
Absolutely.
But back to the original question. Yeah, I just take that personally. Like, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to use the time. And Coach Ryan says something too. It's important. He goes, um, never be only you're not going to lose. You're just going to run out of time. Be the guy that just ran out of time. Um,
Like,
meaning you could have got more if there's time on there because you still could have gone. You could have outlasted that guy.
yes, sir. And that's a and wow, yeah, that's definitely that hits home, man. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Uh, and with that being said, with Coach Ryan, Jaggers, Bo, Coach, I mean, you guys are just those. I mean, from Steber to everybody. I mean,
Mhm.
what what attracted you? Is that what attracted you most to Ohio State, or was it just, hey, I want to stay close to home? Like what? I mean, because with you winning four state titles and doing what you did through high school, I mean, you probably, I mean, you're a blue chip recruit. You know, you could have. What made you really link to Ohio State?
Yeah, there was a lot. First off, Buckeye since the day I was born. Grew up.
Sir?
My room was decked out Ohio State stuff. Um, just grew up Ohio State all sports fan. My dad went to Ohio State, but I tried to be really as unbiased as I could during the recruiting process, just because it's got to be the right fit, right? You
Yes, sir.
can't force it. If it's, hey, we're kind of jammed up here, it's not going to work, that kind of thing. And in high school, I'd go to RTC practices all the time, kind of be with the guys, that kind of thing. But the most attractive thing is just the culture. The culture at Ohio State is something special, and it's gonna sound biased coming from me. But
No, but I've heard this so much though. Like it's so like a family.
yeah, that's what it is, and that's what it felt like, and it felt different. It felt different than other places um, I've been to, and just credit to our leadership. The guys you just listed off. Coach Ryan. He's an amazing leader. Jaggers, Steber, Bo. These guys, they live it. They live it. And we're just the brotherhood is it's special. And you think about it, it's like I'll probably never be a part of an organization like this ever again. You know, Someday I'll have a job, and it's the team ain't gonna look like my team now, and it's something you really gotta be grateful for. But yeah, you kind of feel it, and it's credit to the guys that have been here for going on almost 20 years.
Yeah, I know it's been a heck of a ride to watch. Even honestly, your journey, coming in being so dominant in high school, that jump to the college level, was it more of like I don't know how to say, like a whoa kind of moment, like this is a different type of league, or was it something you kind of jumped right into and just felt comfortable?
Yeah, it's something everybody tells you, hey, college is that level. It's gonna be tough. I'm like, yeah, I didn't take that advice last. I believe you. Like I'm not. I believe you. And it helped too because while I was in high school, like I mentioned, I've been to some of those RTC practices and would try to get my hands on some of the college guys because that's the best thing for a college or a high school kid. Go get beat up by a college dude. Go feel that. Feel what that wrestling's like. Um, but it's true. I mean, you get there, and we're coached now guys that come in, hey, go beat the snot out of them. Because that's the only way they can learn, right? And you learn. You get there in the summer, and you get your butt kicked all summer long, and you're hardly sniffing a takedown, right? I had guys like uh, Luke Pletcher around. Logan was wrestling. He's still wrestles all the time. Jagger, Sammy, um, just incredible
Yeah,
studs.
that's a
That
room there.
been
Yeah,
through it.
that's
Yeah.
a room.
So you're not sniffing a takedown. Then all of a sudden you get, okay, now you got kind of close to one, but you didn't take it down. And, maybe you get 1 out of 10, and it just kind of that progression of, okay, as long as you can fight your butt off, you'll make it. But if you can't fight your butt off, and if you're not tough enough, or if it's too much, um, it's gonna be really tough to make it through. But if you keep fighting and you just keep kind of like, all right, one step at a time, you gotta climb that ladder a little bit. That's how you do it. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes a long time. But yeah, so I was warned. I was warned about that. I was like, I believe you. I'm not taking it lightly, but you don't truly know until you're in there.
Till
Guys are
you, yeah,
stronger,
that.
faster, more technical, smarter, savvier. Oh crap! Like, okay, we got some work to do.
But I'll tell you what though, like the growth, like 'cause you and Decatur battled it out for 141, and
Mhm.
it was a fun battle to watch, and it really gave you a different outlook on like just how deep it is at Ohio State. because you guys were right there, every time.
Mhm.
It was overtime. It was last second takedown. It was, during the wrestle offs that they would put
Mhm.
on Facebook or wherever we could watch it at. But it's the depth there, like you were saying, and I feel like it helps and it makes that play so appealing. Is you can you try to take down Sammy Sasso on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna get better because
Mhm.
if you get one like that, that man he's so sticky and stingy.
Mhm.
Like I feel like you can't find a better room, and that's just my opinion. And of course, just like you, I'm gonna be biased because like how I've been a Buckeye my whole life.
Mhm.
So, uh, but I've watched you grow, man, and especially your this last year. I feel
Mhm.
I don't know if you put an emphasis on it, but your top game has just I really noticed it in the Big Tens and at the NCAA's, and
Mhm.
I'm just kind of curious, like if you did you put a little bit more? Not that it was, and I don't want it to sound like you know the first cup, but it just seemed like it really took a step to where it was like, man, this dude can ride with the best of them. Like,
Yeah.
was it a lot of work that you put in this past off season to get to
Mhm.
that this year?
Yeah, definitely. Something kind of it's two things. It was a little bit technical, and then a mindset shift a little bit too. 'Cause if you've seen a lot of my top game, it's nothing flashy, it's nothing crazy. It's just being really stingy and being really fighting like heck. Hey, if he gets to
Yeah,
his feet, I'm gonna
outwork
grab
him.
to a leg and I'm gonna be sticky and we might go out of bounds and we're okay, reset. But you do that 3 times in a row,
Yep.
gets tough for the bottom guy. They don't like that.
Yes, sir.
Um, so I'm not Logan and no Logan Stever stuff you're seeing a lot. I was hitting that stuff in high school,
Right.
but college is tough, man.
Absolutely.
But I think a big emphasis of just being really stingy. If somebody gets their feet, fight like heck to return them. No, too many times you see those, easy cut where you're just kind of, all right, we'll give it to them. But when they get to their feet and you can return them twice in a row, it's like, oh, bomb guy felt that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I just kind of that mindset shift of just um, really fighting, drop into legs, just trying to be as sticky as possible. And then some technical stuff, of course. But it was a focus for a little bit, and until you focus and you hammer it until it kind of becomes part of your game, and then um, it's part
I
of you.
just feel, yeah, and I do. I feel like it made you were already like this great wrestler, amazing in a neutral position, and I just feel like it just and on bottom like that heart, that grit, that drive that you just bring with you every single match
Mhm.
makes you nice on the bottom. And then it was like, man, if he throwed that top game and it showed like, I mean, boom, next thing you know, you're on a podium. You know what I mean? I'm like, truly the man, I hate this. I can't wait till this coming year. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because I've
Yeah,
just every year it's like you just keep taking this next step, this next level, this and it's been so awesome to see. And especially as a fan, just it we just can't wait to see because you got 2 more years eligibility, right?
yeah, it's crazy, crazy.
Yeah,
This the
it gets
hardest question to
confusing.
answer is like, what year are you? It's like I don't know. I have no idea. I got 2 more left if I want them. But I could take two.
Now, would you? I know this year, but are you going to take that extra year with the COVID? Do you know yet, or is it still kind of up in the air?
Um, I would say most likely. I'm not gonna put my stake in the ground, but I would say most likely.
Oh,
Um, it'd just be
we
hard
hope.
to walk away.
Yeah, yeah, we hope so. I mean, obviously, but I mean, I can respect that. You
Mhm.
know, there's other life endeavors out there, and that's just coming from a fan perspective. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I wish college wrestling was 8 years long in some people's
Yeah.
aspects. You know what I mean? But I know it's a gritty thing now. Or after you finish up, or even before, because I mean, you go to U23s, you make the finals against Cole Matthews. I mean,
Mhm.
and honestly, I didn't know, even though like you went to Fargo, you are what a 4-time finalist, 1-time winner, correct?
I
Or
think
3-time winner.
3-time finalist, 1-time winner. Yep.
Yeah. So I knew you had a nice little. I guess it was a while before I seen the freestyle again, but it was like,
Mhm.
man, like this, and honestly, like I think that I mean, you got the redemption back at the NCAA's this year,
Mhm.
but even in that freestyle match, like you were getting to his legs and just he crotch lock, boom, every like twice on you. I think he did it like twice because I was actually on vacation in Myrtle Beach and I was like you were getting in so deep too. So it
Mhm.
was like, man, like you were right there. So like, is there a future with it? Like, are you wanting to chase an Olympic gold, or is it just, hey, we're going to focus on NCAA, focus on Ohio State and folk style, and this is what we're going to go after an NCAA championship?
Yeah. So kind of both, I guess. I'm really focused on my college career right now. Um, get through that, and then in 2 years you'll have a decision to make, and there's a lot of factors that go into it. How healthy am I right now? Feel great, very healthy, but also know how up and down it can get. So how healthy am I? Um, Maybe there are certain opportunities out there. And are we still rocking? And if those things are all yeses, then it's like probably.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Absolutely, because it's
Mhm.
there. It is. I mean, you're Cole's. He's the real deal. I mean, and you went to. I mean, gosh, you had a heck. That was such a good. You had a hell of a tournament. Even this past NCAA's, like the word grit. I feel like if you look it up, it's got your picture beside it. Grit, grind, whatever. Like just your heart. I mean, just everything that like win, lose or draw. I look back and it's like D'Amelio gave everything that he had. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no matter
Mhm.
what, like, and that's what makes you stand out from so many people. And I've literally used you as an example so many times it's unreal. And I promise you, like, you can go back and watch these other. I don't say this just like
Mhm.
I mean, who am I anyway? But I mean, at the end of the day, like, you should be very, very proud of what you've done and the way that people view you. And even when I met you at the after the Michigan State duel, very humble, very, very, very willing, like wasn't kind of like didn't just a good man. You know what I mean? So it's appreciated. And as a Buckeye fan, brother, we couldn't ask for anybody else at 141 and wouldn't want anybody else there.
Yeah, that's man, that's really cool to hear. Just something that I try to pride myself on, and um, I do it because that's what we value as a team, as my family, my brain. Just what I do it, why I do it, and act the way I do, and do what I do. But to hear it's really cool, and that means a lot. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, like it's all you, man. So it's definitely pretty. I can tell you that I can, if if Mr. Dominic and Miss Michelle, they should be very, very proud of what they've raised, man. That's for sure. And uh, I hope I hope I can do the same with mine. So,
Hmm.
uh, and it's definitely a journey, that's for sure. But we're gonna get in there. But
Yep.
this past NCAA's, your first two go rounds and then you get this one, was there something that felt different, like, because I mean obviously you podium, but your redshirt freshman year, you I believe went 2-2, if I'm correct, right? One, you did do go 2-2, or
Uh,
was it 1 and
it might have been. I think it was 2-2. No, it's 3-2. Because I had
3-2?
like a pigtail too, so it was
Yeah, that's right, because you got
yeah.
the one of the little buy-in deals or
Hmm.
whatever, the selections, and
Hmm.
then you come in the following year. And honestly, even that match this year too, I wanted to bring up with Real Woods. Like,
Oh yeah.
my gosh, dude, you about upset that. Yeah, in my opinion, I'll
Hmm.
tell them everybody this day you beat. But at the end of the day, like, uh, you were wrestling such a fire weekend, like, and you could just see it on the mat. But like, um, how did you feel after the end of that match? You got the number one seed in what? It was the quarters. I think it was the quarters. You made,
Pre-quarters.
yeah,
Oh, pre-quarters. Round two.
pre-quarter.
It was round two.
Yeah, yeah, you pull him round two because you were like 15, I think 16.
Hmm.
So you pull him second round and you wrestle him like a monster. I mean, I mean, I was on Big Ten Network all the time, so you see Rio even at
Hmm.
Stanford, like, just I don't think I think a lot of people thought it was a takedown there at the end. But how did was there a different approach to that match? Like, because you really went toe to toe with the number one seed, and honestly, half the people will say you beat him. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, uh, when you walk off that mat after a great match like that and being so close to upsetting that number one seed, like, does it? I guess, does it give you motivation, or does it? just kind of discourage you because it was like, man, I was that close. Because like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would it bring you down, or was it something that was like, hey, all right, I'm running with him. I got this. We're coming back for we're the next best thing.
Yeah. Well, I kind of had the belief before, kind of before the tournament. I thought it was, I think it's a pretty even weight class. A lot of really good dudes, but I think
Mhm.
it could have been mine to win. Could have been a lot of guys had a shot to win that weight class. To be honest,
Absolutely.
um, I believe I could have won that match, and would have liked to see it to go to overtime. Um, of course, it was a 50-50 call though. Straight up, it was
Mm.
50-50. Would have been nice to get it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
let's see, let's ball don't lie type thing. Uh, but yeah, so it didn't really change nothing. Actually, it's kind of more. It is what it is. All right, because you don't got time. You got to strap up and be ready. You got another match. You got to go wrestle through the wrestle backs, and that's a grind.
That
So
is a
don't you gotta. All right, that happened. Now here's your new position. You gotta accept that, and you gotta be ready to battle here. So I kind of try to stay steady. And man, our team, the mojo, the team at NCAA's was incredible. Just just the vibe of the team, and it goes back to what I was saying about it being a brotherhood. And not that it panned out great for everybody. Um, but guys would battle, we're in each other's corners. We're so positive. But it was that tournament was something special that just threw out for the Bucks. Just
what?
minus result, just the way um, I don't know, felt different. I can't really explain it completely, but it felt different.
No, because even as an outsider looking in, you could tell you guys were on a mission. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like you could tell, like you, Jesse. I mean, I feel terrible for Malik because
Hmm.
I wish he could have had that opportunity because I feel like he was
Oh
wrestling
yeah.
very good whenever whenever he went down,
Hmm.
and just from on up, Sammy has an amazing. Sammy does what Sammy does.
Hmm.
And Patty, and I mean, I can go on Carson. I mean, it was just it felt like these boys came to wrestle, man,
Hmm.
and it was fun to watch. I mean, I didn't move from, and I'm sure my wife probably least favorite 3 days in the world, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, she knows how I'm about my wrestling bucks. But just in wrestling in general, I love it
Hmm.
all. But that you guys definitely came to play, and
Hmm.
it was definitely awesome to watch. So I guess is it just right now? Hey, we prepare, we get ready, and let's try to get on top of the podium for next year.
Yeah. Same mission. Just another lap around. You know, uh, just keep rocking. You take some time. Take some time to decompress in the summer, but still train real hard. But no classes, a little less stress. It's nice outside. Get some training outside, which is fun. I love going for runs. It's hard to do it in the winter. I mean, treadmill is different than hitting a nice trail and enjoying the sun. I love summer. It's just I'm a warm from Ohio. I really appreciate the warm weather.
Yeah, yes,
Although
sir. I'm with you. I'm
it's
with
nice to
you.
catch me outside.
Yes, sir. I can appreciate it. I'm more of a fall guy, but that's just because I like my wrestling, my football, and I'm
Yeah.
more of that 70-degree kind of guy, like where I'm not dying, but at the same time I'm not freezing. So
Mhm.
that fall time gets me, and then you got the Thanksgiving, throw everything in there, and it's just that's where I fall. Uh, that's my time. But I definitely am excited. How do you feel about this new 3-point takedown?
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, it is.
You've wrestled your whole life, and it's always been all of the rule changes. It's something that's been very consistent. Um, yeah, the two from the crowd, be different. Um, again, it's something I'm curious about because I don't know, and I don't know if it's good for the sport or bad for the sport. I doubt it's gonna make a huge difference. Probably won't be um, I don't know. I think it could be good though. I think it will be good for the Bucks too. I think we're
I
overall
think
probably a takedown team, so I think it favors um, our style. Um, but to be weird, the mental it's the you think the score is just automatically calculated in your head when you're wrestling.
absolutely after all these
So
years of knowing, hey, all right, it's 6-4. All right, I got to get this
yeah,
escape, or whatever the case may be. Like it's now it's like heck, if I get an escape and get a takedown, now I'm up by three. It would
yeah,
be
exactly.
yeah. So you
You
really
already know
gonna
the
have to,
scenarios in your head before you without
right?
thinking about it. You know it's okay if I get a takedown, and he gets out, and I get another takedown, then he gets out, but he takes me out. Maybe it's tied now, but now it's
Yeah,
like all right, and I'm trying to practice that in practice a little bit. Like, oh shoot, so that was three. Yeah, okay, so it would be 3-1 right now. Just like kind of just thinking about it, not really going crazy with it, but just kind of like keeping it in my back of my mind. Like, okay, so it would be 3-1. It's interesting though.
yeah, it is, and I was kind of excited about it,
Mm.
to a point. Love you, buddy. Sorry about that. My little guy was leaving.
No worries.
Uh, but yeah, I was excited about it. Then I heard about the whole tilt rule. I'm glad it didn't go through because it was like if you don't tilt them, even though, especially to be honest with you, like how you were just describing your ride,
Hmm.
and I feel like it would have taken away from people that are that gritty ride, like wear them down just because I don't turn them, I don't get my 1 point for riding. So I'm glad that didn't go through because I just thought that it would have favored a handful of guys, but really hurt more than helped the rest. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that little rule didn't go. But the 3.1 is
Yeah, my opinion's the same as yours on that. I'm glad I
it
feel the
did.
same way.
Yeah, and honestly, as weird as it sounds, bro. I mean, but like you're like who we were talking about. Like we were talking about it at work, and I'm like, man, I just watched Dylan bring his whole entire. Like I feel like it would literally gnaw everything that you just busted your ass to get better at. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just took your top game to a whole nother level to where now it's like, well, now you better work on turning too. And it's like, shit,
Yeah,
dude, you know how hard it is to hold somebody down like that for and gain a minute riding time. Like this is you're not just rolling with the guy next door. It's this is a monster below me here. So it's I'm glad it didn't because
yeah,
it takes away from especially people with your style.
yeah. I think you're right too. With it favor a select few
Yeah,
that are good at turning, and then otherwise it'd probably eliminate. If you're not really good on top, it'd probably eliminate more top and bottom wrestling because
yeah,
okay, if it's a 3-point takedown, but I get 0 points for riding this guy and trying really hard to do that, what am I wasting my time for if I think I can take him down?
yes, sir.
So it seems kind of like the rules are kind of leaning towards moving in the direction of freestyle, right?
Yeah,
But without like they're scared to do it,
yeah.
which would be a big.
How would you feel
It would be
if
kind
it
of
went
cool.
full? You'd be all right with it
It'd
full,
be
like
cool
if they went full freestyle.
yeah, but I think you have to have like a big heads up about it. Like, hey, 5 years from now,
Right, right.
2030, we're going freestyle. And
I agree.
maybe I don't know, 2028, high school is doing freestyle. So it's like that, the transition's there. Because you can have
Yeah,
guys that
not
never
just
freestyle, but really good at folk style. So you go to college and it's like, okay,
yeah.
different
Yeah, I mean, and
level.
you're looking at a guy that wrestled for his entire life, school,
Mhm.
and never wrestled a freestyle match in my life.
Yeah.
So if they would have say swapped it back then, I would have been like, what are we doing here? A gut
Mhm.
wrench, a lace, like what the heck? I'd be wrestling and somebody, just crotch lock toss me and be like like, well, for what? Like,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
he didn't get me no back points.
Yeah,
So
I think that should have a trickle effect. I like it. I'm probably honestly, I probably like freestyle more because I think it's more fun. It opens the windows to some creativity. You can get a little do some random stuff. It eliminates people that are really good, like funk rollers, which has always been kind of annoying. You
yeah,
know, um, but the trickle effect would be really, really, really tough internationally. We're already a tough international team. But if you got the system changed to just freestyle, like every other country in the world, um, we would we could do some real damage.
I agree. I agree, and that's what I think. Because I mean, that's gotta have. Is there a? I mean, I've always heard that there's a way different feel. Like whenever you're over there, hey, bub. Whenever there's a huge difference with when it comes to, they've been doing it their whole lives over in Russia or wherever the case may be. And we start it usually in high school. We get, Fargos and stuff like that. But at the end, well, I mean, middle school too. But at the end of the day, like we're not introduced to it heavily. So uh, sorry about that, buddy.
No worries.
Yeah.
Hey, my mom babysits, so I grew up my whole life. We got about 12 youngins running around all
No
day. Ain't
kidding.
no problem. Yeah.
He's just one, but he's a handful. I mean, he's the best thing that ever happened to me, man.
Yeah, of
I
course.
can't wait to get him on a mat, and I hope he loves it. I do. I mean, and everybody knows just how much I love it, so they're so worried that I'm gonna
Yeah.
shove it
Yeah.
like down it. Like, but I'm not. I don't like. I ain't gonna make him do it. If he comes up
Hmm.
and says, "Dad, this just ain't for me," I'll be like, "All right, well, hey, we'll just." His birthday's the same week as the NCAA, so I was just like, all right, well, as long as we, your birthday gift every year
Yeah.
is we go to the NCAA, so
I have
a
a great
win-win.
father father
Yeah,
son money trip for you for your
yes,
birthday
sir.
every
Yes,
year.
sir. Yep. It's a birthday gift for me too, like 5 months early. But
Yeah.
but yeah, and I'm sorry, but I was, but what I was, do they have that? Is that feel over there that much different with them having the freestyle their entire lives rather than us slowly getting into it?
Hmm. In a way, I think they're probably a little more savvy in certain positions. I would say they're probably better on top and bottom. But I think the American style, having folk style, is I think we're better conditioned, um, and some positional stuff favors us as well.
Yes, sir.
So it's a little give and take, but I definitely think we're the best cardio team in the country or in the world. Sorry, um, because you kind of see that, and foreigner style is usually it's really relaxed. You see a lot of speed changes type of things, which is really good technique. Something different. I've been trying to incorporate into my wrestling because high school it's like gonna go 100%, got 100% the whole time. I'm gonna be not all over the place, but I'm one speed. Pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Or it's
Yep.
like no, hey, you gotta be a little tricky. You gotta slow it down. At times you should be rocking about 80. And maybe when it's time to go, 100, because you kind
10.
of got to play the game too of you're trying to trick the guy. That's what setups are. Fakes are. You're trying to trick them, get their timing off balance. And foreigners are really good at that. That's why they look like they're super lazy. They're all relaxed and
Yeah.
speed
Never thought
explosive.
about that. Never thought about that stuff.
Hmm.
And because they kind of like, I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, man, is he's just like, but once they hit something, it's like, whoa, okay, fair
Hmm.
enough. I forget actually who I was just talking to. And they were talking about their first freestyle match, and it was overseas, like when they first went. Gosh, who was it? But might have been John Pazanski. But anyway, he was saying that like he wrestled this kid he looked beside, and oh no, it was Bo Bassett. And he
Hmm.
was telling me like he went overseas and like he looked across, the guy kind of had like the singlet really didn't fit him. It
Hmm.
was like he was like, all right, it kind of calmed him down and was like, all right, shoot, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
but and he's like, even like his stance, he was like, man, and he's like, dude, the kid was a dog, like an
Yeah.
absolute animal. So I guess that they portray, but it is, I guess I've been, that's the second time I've heard it this week. So that makes sense, man.
Yeah. You can't. It's just you gotta understand culturally things are different in different places in the world. So it might look like not the best wrestler here. That might be their norm, what they're wearing and how they're doing things. So you gotta think about that a little bit.
Absolutely.
And I've always growing up, it was always like you can't wear low socks. Like you gotta wear high socks. Like all the foreigners, they wear low socks. They don't got high socks on. So it's like okay, that's it might not be
That
bad.
is true
You
though,
gotta
because I've
yeah.
I've never wore a low sock like well, gosh, in a wrestling shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I always got the high socks with the
Mhm.
Nikes or Adidas or whatever, Rudas,
Yeah.
whoever. Yeah, but yeah, that's it's wild though. Like you said, just like the different cultures, just with
Hmm.
what you're raised with what you see and like what you see. Like, I mean, I'd always be like, man, I got to get his shoes. Like whoever I was watching
Hmm.
at the time when I was a kid, like them man, them all white, and I always had this thing for
Yeah.
all white wrestling shoes. I loved them, loved
Me
them.
too. Me too.
Yeah, I see it because like you stay rocking some really dope shoes. I've always liked your shoes. 'Cause I was like, yeah, and it looks good though with the red and everything. Like it's like ooh, like
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah. I was bummed. My favorite shoes just the Freaks. I think they're comfortable. Um, I like the way they look, but they stopped making them. It's like, dang, you gotta find a new shoe now.
Well, you know what? I actually didn't mind. I don't know if it was Rudis or JB or if it was his new them all. They're all white stuff. I think it definitely was a Rudis shoe, but I don't know how comfortable they are because I've never put them on. But
Mhm.
uh, beautiful shoe though. I literally like screenshotted it and was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, but they got some cool shoes for sure.
yeah, yeah. And it was just it was a bad looking all white shoe, and I was just like, man, like somebody's got to throw these on me so I can see what they look like.
That's right.
But man, hey, I want to thank you again, man. I appreciate the 35 minutes that you gave me here. I ate up 6 minutes longer than what I wanted to take yours, so I definitely appreciate your time and uh, just kind of letting people see what Dylan D'Amelio is all about and letting me learn what Dylan D'Amelio is all about, man. It's been a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you having me on. It's really cool. You've been watching for so long, and just all the you know insight you have, and kind words. It means a lot to me. So I thank you for that. If you ever
For
want
sure.
to do something in the future again, hit me up. Feel free. Um,
Appreciate
so yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did, and I'll tell you what, man. This is what the way we're going to look at it is after you win this national championship, you're gonna have the flows and everybody hitting you up, but you're gonna see Bobby Beckley from Sage Wrestling being like, "Hey, bro, don't get on it again one more time." So
I
after
got
you
you.
get,
I got
but
you.
honestly, but we're gonna honestly win or lose or whatever happens, I'd love to sit down and chat again, but we're gonna say you're gonna go get one, bro.
That's right. Of course, man. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. And you have a good night, bro. And I'll be in touch.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll see you
All right, take care, big guy.
later.
One of my favorite wrestlers. That was cool. That was awesome. Uh, and if you watch his matches, you'll know why. It's so cut and dry. Why he's one of it doesn't take like you can literally turn this match on behind me, and it was literally his pigtail match that he brought up. I believe it was his redshirt sophomore year, freshman year, but he there's just no quitting. And when I say that, I hope that my son, if he does end up falling in love with this sport, that he wrestles like that. I mean that. And uh, it, if you are down, and like a lot of times it's hard to keep yourself wanting to come back to the center of the mat and keep going and keep grinding. Uh, I've been there. I wasn't like Dylan, you know what I mean? And that's I was that guy that was already defeated with still 30 seconds to go because I'm down by four. And he's that guy that he ain't defeated until that clock hits zero. And you can learn a lot from just watching him, and he's fun. And man, he just jumps levels every year. And I, I I hope he gets everything that he's worked for because you can tell that he puts it in. And that ain't saying everybody don't. They all do. You know what I mean? These boys are all where they're at for a reason. And that's why I enjoy talking to all of them. Get a different perspective on everybody. But at the end of the day, like it, this one was special for me. It really was, man. Just a good, humble human being that was raised clearly by two amazing parents and went to an amazing college that was surrounded with good family environment, also with just great values, and it hangs out. So, I mean, shout out to Dylan for taking the time to join us do this, and shout out to y'all for watching, and hit that like, hit that subscribe, keep us rolling here, and appreciate it. Love y'all.